Get to it. Hi, my name is Patrick, but you can call me 26. And what we want to do today is we want to figure out how we can cache data in SwiftData, right? So what you're going to do is we're going to take web data, essentially JSON tokens, and then you're going to save them onto the device with SwiftData, and then you're going to be reading it off the device, right? Before we get to today's business, you could have a look at my course. That is the e-commerce full stack application. And what we build is iStore. And iStore, we build the front end and the back end. And iStore does use SwiftData. We use SwiftData in persisting our cart. So whenever you close the app, we save the contents of what you want to get into a cart. And in this cart, which also has a map, you can pick the location like so and do that. And this is persisted using SwiftData. And also among our carts, we have favorites, right? So we have our favorites here, and you could save the favorites, and the favorites are products that you like that you would want to maybe go back and later on buy. And this also uses SwiftData to save our particular favorites, right? So we do that. And also on top of it, we figure out how we can work with the observable macro when you're dealing with SwiftData. So all these are projects that we actually implement in this application. If you'd like to see the complete project, have a look at the link in the description. If you you're going to see the 26-hour project in its entirety plus the source code. If you would like to see the first 12 hours of the project, they're available on my page on this channel, right? So have a look at that. Now let's get to the business. Have a look at the data, the app that you're going to build, right? So what you're going to have here is we have this app which just it's an app we built previously where we just get data from the Rick and Morty API, and we show the first X number of characters. I can't remember the number. We built it a while back, and I thought I'd use this, right? So however many, and we first built it with combine, and then we used async await, right? So basically character response. I can't remember the number, but we do get a number, so save them as character from the Rick and Morty API, right? So we get this, we fetch this is the network service, and then we display them, right? So if you run it, this is what it is. Let's figure out just how we can get the data first, and then we'll figure out maybe in a later video how to deal with the images, right? So how to cache the data. So this data is coming from, it's coming online, right? It's coming from the API, right? And then of course we're using async, the character row. The character row here uses async image, right? So use async image. Usually you probably should use nuke. Async image should be improved, right? It's not as good as other third-party solutions to that particular thing, right? But this is an app we built on the channel a while back. And what we want to do now is we want to fetch the data, all the data once, and then cache it using SwiftData. And then when the reader reopens the app, closes the app and opens it, we read it from we read it from SwiftData rather than reading it from the API, right? So you can save caches, right? And in the application which we build, the application in my course, which directly in the link below, and there's an ad for it, what we did there is we actually cache if you save an object that you like, right? It's an e-commerce application. So if you like, for example, an object and save it, you're going to in the future be reading it from your device rather than from the API, unless it has been deleted, right? So we do check that if the owner of the store has deleted it, but if it's still available, you're still going to be able to read it on your device, right? So we save, like if you favorite a product, you see a product that you like and you don't want to lose it, right? We're building them, it's called iStore, which is a store for Apple products, right? So if you like it, you can save it, and then you can read it locally and also purchase it, right? So if you just go to your favorites, you can just have a look at that, and then you can get that. So you can check out, if you are interested in the first 12 hours of the project, it's over 26 hours. So if you're interested in the first 12 hours, you can check them in the channel. If you want the complete thing, just have a look at the link in the description, right? So what you're going to do here is you're just going to figure out how we can actually save this data. So let us get to it. So the very first thing we might want to do, is we need to create the character model, right? That is going to have all the information, right? So what you're going to do is we are going to first get the model. And for that, let's go under model. Let's put it under just directly under character model, right? So what you're going to do here is we're just going to get the character model. And since I've already introduced SwiftData, this is what the code looks like, right? So we have the character model. And for now, we're just going to have the ID, the name, the image URL, and then here we're going to get of course you need to set the ID, the name, and the image URL, right? So this is all the information you need to do. It's just matching the character particularly, exactly the same. And here we split the character response into the array of the results, right? And then into each single character, right? Here we're not going to do that. We're just going to jump directly to each single character, right? So it's going to be our character model. That's the first thing. And then the next thing is we're going to remove the use of the network service, right? So what you're going to do is you're going to essentially create an extension for the character model, And there, we're going to use the background actor to import characters, right? So we're going to import characters, and then after we import characters, we're going to loop through them when they come as the array here. We're just going to loop through them, and after looping through them, we're going to pass them on to every single character, right? So every single character model, right? So it's going to be essentially now a results array. Then you're going to loop through them, and for each one, you're going to create the character models, right? So what that looks like is pretty straightforward. And we've already had a look at background actors, so I think you can follow along exactly what we are. So this is what that would look like. And of course, this code is going to be available on GitHub, so that you can have a look at it, right? So what we do now, instead of the network service, we basically have done what we've done in the network service using async await, right? So we're just basically using this code. But what we want to do here, we could, I didn't want to initialize a network service again in the model, right? So I just put it here, right? So here it's just going to be this function called import characters. It throws, it gets the URL from Rick and Morty API character, and then we get that data. And then when we get it, we get this. This is going to be our characters. The character here is going to be character response.self, right? Which is going to be this, right? The results, the array of the various characters, right? Now our characters are in this array called character, and then we loop through. We say for character in character.results, right? So for them, we take the character model and we pass in the ID, the name, the image URL, and put that, right? And then after that, we load it into the ModelContext.insert that particular character model, right? So for all of them, create characters in the model context, right? So we do that, and then we try saving it, right? And then if there are any errors, you deal with them, right? Because this is it might fail, so you just throw the error, right? So that is basically that. And then the next thing we need to do, of course, is we need to make sure that our character model can actually do this, right? Or maybe let's make, remember this application does not have access, right, to SwiftData, right? So the first thing you need to do is import SwiftData, like I've done there, right? And after you import SwiftData, the next thing to do is provide the character models to the entire app, right? And then you can get them from the environment, right? So we come here, do this, paste that, right? So you just say character model.self, you pass all of them here, right? So all of them are going to be available. Now we can get them in the environment, right? But before that, let's make our character row. Our character row currently is expecting a character of type character model, and we'll handle the image in a bit, so we can just comment that out. We just want the text for now, right? That's going to be the text, and instead of character here, we just want the character model, right? Now the character model is now available to us, right? Now, what's the next thing we need to do? The next thing we need to do is, that's dealt with. Probably the next thing, or the only thing left actually, is perhaps in the, what's it called? In the, we have it in the character row, right? We probably need to provide something in the, content view, right? That's the only thing left, right? So that would be the content view. So in the content view, you could comment out the network service. We don't need that, right? So we don't have the network service. So what we need is going to be at environment, and that's going to be model context, and we provide the model context. And because we need to keep track of the array, we could just use query, and this is going to be private var. Okay, not exactly like this. Sometimes the suggestions are not very good. Private var characters, right? So we have characters like so. That's going to be our character model, and it's complaining because we have not imported what? SwiftData. So we import SwiftData, and some of the complaints are going to go off. Of course, it's going to complain that we still don't have VM here. And now for our VM, we could just pass in the characters instead of VM.characters. We can just get them from the characters in the query, like so, characters like so. And I think since you're already providing the ID, we could do this, right? And then for the character in character, we just have character row, and it passes it in because it's a character model, right? Now on task, here where we have task, what we could do, since we're doing it in the background, right? We could use, this on API is going to be called when the app starts, but we want to do it still on the background, right? So if you want to do that, you could just come here and use a task, and then you tell it that priority is going to be user initiated is usually the fastest, right? If you get user initiated, that is going to be the fastest. However, we want to do it in the background. It's going to be a bit slower, right? So just because we wanted it loaded in the background thread. Although this is just to show you how to do it. If you're doing it like if it was on an app, you just use task and on API can be used. Either one can be used, but Apple advised to use task in one of their labs, right? So in one of their labs, they said use task instead of using on API, right? So this is Apple's preferred way of doing it, and therefore it's my preferred way of doing it, right? So we hit tab there, and okay, and task priority. And what we want to do is we first want the container, right? Like we did with the background, and this is just going to be model context because you're doing it on on a background thread, and we could give ourselves a bit more real estate. And what we want then is to have a do, and then after do, what do we need? We need a catch, and after catch, what we do is just going to be, let's come here and say, this is going to be let bg actor. And what bg actor is going to be equal to character model dot background actor, like so. And then that's going to be character model dot background actor, and this is going to be model container is going to be model container, like so. And then afterwards, it's going to be try await background dot import characters, like so, right? And then afterwards, we're just going to print, and in case there are any errors, right? So if there are any errors, just come here and say error importing character, and then that particular error, right? Okay, why is that? Oh, okay, this should be, get rid of that, right? So that's going to be that. And if this is the case, we have 0 errors, 0 warnings. Let's see if our preview honors us with this, right? It's going to take a second, so you're not going to see it, right? We don't have a push towards it, but we should get the names if we have done everything according to plan, right? So it's not working for some reason, but let's try and running it proper in the simulator. And if we run it in the simulator, perhaps, okay, ideally you would have a progress, you'd have like a progress bar or something, get a spinning wheel to tell the user that this is happening, right? So now we have all our users coming in, right? All of them are here, right? All the various users are here, right? And now when we turn off the internet, let's just come here and turn that off and then stop it and then run it. Presumably we should get them, and you see it's instant, right? This means that we're not reading it, and we could just do it again. This means that we are not reading it from the online, right? We're not reading it online, right? So even if you turn off the internet, it's still working, right? That's done. That's more or less done. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.